Hello everyone, I'm Matt. I'm a video editor for Click and Learn software, and today I thought I'd do a little demonstration on how you can use Click and Learn software's games to learn all of the provinces of Canada. The first thing we do is we go to clickandlearnsoftware.com and we hit the Play Now button, and that takes us to the website and all of the various games that we can play. There are tons and tons of geography games on here, and if you want to learn the provinces of Canada, we have to scroll down and look for Canada, and it's right here, and I'm going to hit the color map game. I'm going to hit single player and get started. And before I hit go, I did not practice beforehand, so unfortunately this is going to be a little rough. But you know, it's the only way to learn. You got to dive head first and start, and then once you do, you'll start having a mastery of it. Alberta. I think Alberta is here. Nope, that's Newfoundland. No, that's the Northwest Territories. British Columbia. Alberta is right here. All right, British Columbia. I think I just hit that and I forgot what it was. I told you this was going to be rough. All right, Manitoba, right here. New Brunswick, I think it's in the corner here. That's Nova Scotia. This has to be New Brunswick. Newfoundland is here. Northwest Territories and Nova Scotia. So my time was over and I butchered it. So we're going to have to start again. But we're going to practice and we're going to do a little better this time. Alberta is right here. British Columbia is right here. Manitoba is right here. New Brunswick. That's Northwest Territories in the corner here. I think this is New Brunswick. Newfoundland, the Northwest Territories, and Nova Scotia. All right, I don't think we got them wrong, but we did, our pace wasn't very good. British Columbia, Manitoba, New Brunswick, Newfoundland, Northwest Territories, and Nova Scotia, purple one down here in the corner. All right, I'm still 3 seconds over, so I'm gonna have to really rush in. Ooh. Okay, take a deep breath, we got this. Alberta, British Columbia, Manitoba, New Brunswick, we have, no, that's not Newfoundland, I knew that. Newfoundland, Northwest Territories, and I'm over time. We're gonna get this, we're gonna do this. So let's get started. Alberta, British Columbia, Manitoba, New Brunswick, Newfoundland, Northwest Territories, and so there won't be any more questions added after this one. But all I can remember right now is Saskatchewan, and I have no idea where that is. So we're going to find out is how this is going to go. So we have Alberta, we have British Columbia, we have Manitoba, we have New Brunswick, we have Newfoundland, we have the Northwest Territories, we have Nova Scotia, Nunavut Territory, that's Yukon Territory. There's the Nunavut. This is Ontario. This is Prince Edward Island. That's Saskatchewan. Where's Quebec? This is Quebec. This is Saskatchewan and the Yukon Territory. Okay, so that went a little better than I thought it would, but I'm still a little over time. So I'm going to try this again. We have Alberta, British Columbia, Manitoba, New Brunswick, Newfoundland, Northwest Territories, Nova Scotia, Nunavut Territory, this is Ontario, Prince Edward Island, we have Quebec, we have Saskatchewan, and Yukon Territory. I was 1 second over, we gotta give it another shot. So we have Alberta, British Columbia, Manitoba, New Brunswick, Newfoundland, Northwest Territories, Nova Scotia, Nunavut Territory, Ontario, Prince Edward Island, Quebec, Saskatchewan, Yukon Territory. We have cleared level 2. So as you saw, it was rough at the beginning. I didn't do any practice before. I kind of went into this blind. I've only edited videos of Bob doing this, so my vague recollection only came from that. I've never sat down and learned the provinces of Canada before. And there's only 13 provinces to know. So you could start from nowhere, get started for 5 or 10 minutes, and now I have a vague idea of where things are, and they're being cemented into my brain. So we just got to keep practicing and keep trying. Right now I have to do random order. So before, I was able to memorize the order of things, and I think that's what helped me, after all the repetition, do it right. But now I have to see. I can't just know the order to get through it. We're going to give it a shot. So Nunavut Territory is the yellow territory here. Ontario is down here. Newfoundland is right here. Saskatchewan, I believe, is the territory here. Quebec, right here. Nova Scotia is right here. Prince Edward Island. Yukon Territory, close to Alaska. We have British Columbia. Shoot. That's it. New Brunswick. We have Alberta, Northwest Territories, and Manitoba. Try to improve your time. All right. Newfoundland. Okay. Right here. New Brunswick, right here. Prince Edward Island, Saskatchewan, Northwest Territories, Manitoba. Shoot. I think this is Manitoba. British Columbia. All right. British Columbia. I'm going to say... Oh, I completely forgot. That's Alberta. All right, I got that again. Yukon Territory, close to Alaska. Nova Scotia. Quebec. Nunavut Territory. Alberta. And then Ontario by the Great Lakes. All right, so that went a little worse, but we're getting there. It's going to be random order again, so I'm really going to have to remember. Nova Scotia, right here. Quebec. Yukon Territory is right by Alaska. Ontario by the Great Lakes. Manitoba is right... Oh, it's Alberta. No, that's Saskatchewan. This is Manitoba right there. Alberta is... Man, I wish I didn't forget. Oh, I knew this. British Columbia. Northwest Territories. Saskatchewan is right here. Prince Edward Island. Newfoundland. New Brunswick. British Columbia. Nunavut Territory. Okay. Going again. Quebec. Alberta. Manitoba is there. Nova Scotia. Right here. British Columbia. Prince Edward Island. Newfoundland. Saskatchewan is right here. Northwest Territories. Alberta. New Brunswick. Yukon Territory by Alaska. Nunavut. And last is Ontario. All right. Practice, practice, practice. I'm going again. New Brunswick. Newfoundland. Nova Scotia. British Columbia. Nunavut Territory. Ontario. Yukon Territory. Northwest Territories. Quebec. Oh, I knew that. Quebec. Prince Edward Island. Saskatchewan. I didn't know that. Manitoba and Alberta. Alright, I cleared the level, but I did make some mistakes. So now I'm in test mode. I'm going to have a little bit of a slower time. I think it'll be easier for me to read them all out loud and go through the time. It just goes to show what an expert Bob is, not only at using the system and showing how easy it is, but also being able to narrate it better. This wasn't one of my strongest narrations. But I'm going to dive right in, take my time, and let's see if we can get 100%. Let's lock and load. So the provinces of Canada, click and learn software test mode. Let's rock. So we're going in. Nova Scotia. Nova Scotia is... This is Newfoundland. This is Nova Scotia. New Brunswick, nearby. Alberta. I believe this is Alberta. Quebec. Nunavut Territory. British Columbia. Saskatchewan. Ontario. Yukon Territory by Alaska. Newfoundland. Northwest Territories right here. Manitoba. Prince Edward Island. We got 100%, but I don't feel as comfortable as I think I should be. Just because you get through it once doesn't mean you know it. So I'm actually going to do it one more time just to see how that goes. I'm going to go into the Canada color map game and select single player. And I'm going to go right in. Alberta, British Columbia. That's Nova Scotia. British Columbia, Manitoba, New Brunswick, Newfoundland, Northwest Territories, Nova Scotia. All right, so we have Alberta, British Columbia nearby, Manitoba, New Brunswick in the corner here, Newfoundland up top, and we have the Northwest Territories and Nova Scotia. So that's great. Level 1 was cleared. I made another attempt, but let's see how this can go. Let's see if I can do better. 13 questions. Alberta, British Columbia, Manitoba, New Brunswick, Newfoundland, Northwest Territories, Nova Scotia, Nunavut Territory, Ontario, Prince Edward Island, Quebec, Saskatchewan, and Yukon Territory. We have cleared level 2. That's great. These next questions are going to be in random order and the boxes will go away. So I'm going right in. We have the Northwest Territories, we have Saskatchewan, we have Manitoba, we have Newfoundland, we have Ontario by the Great Lakes, we have Nunavut Territory, we have Yukon Territory, we have Quebec, we have Nova Scotia, we have New Brunswick, we have Alberta, we have British Columbia, and Prince Edward Island. Level 3 cleared. I feel a lot more confident now. Test mode, boxes won't go away. Let's see if I can do a repeat victory lap of the 100%. I'm going to hit go. Prince Edward Island, Yukon Territory by Alaska, Ontario by the Great Lakes, Nunavut Territory, all of these kind of islands up top. We have Saskatchewan, which I believe is right here next to Manitoba, in between Manitoba and Alberta. And Alberta is here. The Northwest Territories are between Yukon and Nunavut Territory. We have Newfoundland up here. We have British Columbia on the far left. We have New Brunswick down here. We have Nova Scotia next to New Brunswick. Quebec right here. Manitoba is right here with the lakes in it. And once again, we scored 100%. All right, I'm feeling a lot better. I went in here knowing where almost nothing was, and now I feel like I have at least a grasp of where everything is located. But you know, it's not just one and done. You have to go back, you have to keep practicing and studying, and you have to confirm that you know it. And when it goes in random order, that's when you can really prove it to yourself. Because it's easy to memorize the sequence and the order of things, but you got to keep practicing. But thanks to the games, I was really engaged. I couldn't pick up my phone and be distracted. The reason it's timed is to put pressure on you and make you focus. And it's funny, you know, I'm of a generation where we're always looking at screens and our phones all the time. And yes, this is a screen. I'm talking into a screen. But the time and the pressure of the game really helped me focus. I wasn't thinking about anything else. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you could see just how valuable this is as a study tool, and I hope you enjoy it. You know, Canada is a great country and an ally of the United States, and it's cool, you know. That shouldn't be a controversial thing to say, by the way. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day. Once again, thank you.